Okay, so welcome to another segment of our videos as we look at a question in physics from the 2025 GCE. So it was saying that a car slows down from a velocity of 40 meters per second to 20 meters per second in 5 seconds. It then moves with this velocity for 3 seconds and then comes to rest in 2 seconds. Then A says plot a graph of velocity against time. In fact, they wanted you to put this, on a graph paper. So that's what they wanted you to do. But of course, I'm just going to show you how it was supposed to be. So whenever you are plotting on a graph, one, ensure that there's a title. And what's the title? Let me show you what you have in this case. So you're plotting. If you look at this one, you have your time. In this case, your time in second on the x-axis. Then this side, you do have the velocity, but the velocity in meters per second. So the title of your graph should be what is on the y-axis against what you have on the x-axis. Please don't write y and x. No, we do not want y and x as if you're drawing your mathematics. Just write the quantities that are supposed to be there, the variables that are there. So in this case, velocity and time. So you simply give the title, graph of velocity. So that is graph of velocity. If you want against, or you can simply say versus time. So title is very important. Your axes are supposed to be labeled properly. That's the way it's supposed to be for you to earn the marks. Remember, it was 4 marks. Now it said the car slowed down from a velocity, meaning it was moving with a velocity of 40. So let me say this is my 40 here. So it actually slowed down to a velocity of what? Of 20. So it came to a velocity of 20. In how many seconds did it do that? It was simply in 5 seconds there. All right. Then it says it then moves with this velocity. So it moves with this velocity for 3 seconds. So it moves with this velocity for 3 seconds, meaning you add 5 plus the 3 seconds. So here the time will be 8. All right. And then comes to rest in 2 seconds. So after that point, it comes to rest in 2 seconds. So meaning for you to know the time, 8 plus that 2 seconds. So here it will be 10. Remember, you have already written time in second, and that's the velocity. So this is the type of a graph that you needed to actually draw. A title and properly labeled axis. Then they are going to award you your marks. All right. So that was the A part. Then the B part there says calculate the retardation in the first 5 seconds. So what is the retardation in the first 5 seconds? Now remember, retardation, if you look at, let's look at the data that we have there. So according to the data, the initial velocity is simply 40 meters per second, because that's what you started with. Then the initial, which is u, then the final velocity which you have acquired, it dropped to 20 meters per second. How long did it take to move from 40 to 20? The time was simply just 5 seconds. So the retardation is negative acceleration. So we just apply the same formula. Acceleration is final minus initial divided by time. But our answer should give us a negative because you are simply slowing down. So the final velocity is 20 minus initial, 40. Let me just write that properly. So 40 over the time, which is 5. So acceleration will be 20 minus 40. That's negative 20 over 5. If you notice, if you divide 5 into that, it will give you negative 4 meters per second. What? Per second squared. So don't forget the square there, because what you'll be doing will be wrong. So this is actually B1. What about B2? How is that going to be when it comes to B2? Well, when it comes to B2 there, we can simply say, it says calculate the total distance covered by that. Now the total distance will be equal to the area under the graph. Allow me just to clear up this so that I can actually just get to show you. So the total distance will be equal to the total area under the graph. So you can, depending on the shapes that you are looking at, I'm trying to look at this. I can look at this one. Let me use a different marker. I can try to look at this whole portion here. This is basically forming up what we are calling as being a trapezium. In this case, I'm looking at this one here, and let me use a different marker so that you are able to see. And this here is creating a triangle. So like I said, the total distance is simply equal to the area under graph. So you can form up, even if you want, different shapes, as long as you actually find the correct thing. So I've just segmented two. I've done this area A and that one area B, so that I just simplify. So distance will be equal to, that is a triangle, so it's half base times height, plus this is forming up a trapezium, which is half A plus B multiplied by height. So the distance there is going to be 1/2 the base from here to there, that is a 5, and the height, that would be 40 minus 20, which is still a 20, plus 1/2. What is my A there? For this one, my A will be this one from here to there, which is 8, plus then the breadth from here to there, which is a 10, and the height of the trapezium is simply going to be a 20. So D will be equal to 2 there, 1, 2 there is 10. 10 times 5 will give me 50 plus. Let's work out this. 2 there, 1, 2 there, it's 10. 8 plus 10 will give you 18. 18 times 10 will give you 180. So the distance there, when you add the 2, it is simply going to give you a 230 meters. Like I said, you can make up different shapes, but the fact is that total distance is equal to the area under the whole of this graph. So our total distance that we have is simply 230 meters. So now once you find your total distance to be once you find your total distance to be equal to 230, you can actually find your average speed, as the other part there says. So it says B, calculate the average speed. So B3, in this case, my average speed is equal to simply the total distance that you have traveled divided by the total time that has been taken. So what's the total distance? It is 230 meters divided, in this case, by the total time. Remember, from 0 up to 10. Obviously this and that will cancel, so I'll have 23 meters per second. So that is our average speed. So this is what you needed to do. I hope it made sense. Please, you can refer to other videos, then you'll be able to see and actually learn. If you like what I do, you can subscribe, so that each time I make a new video in physics, chemistry, biology, mathematics, and even additional mathematics series that I've started, you'll be able to see. For those of you that are doing pure, you can watch out also some components that I also teach for pure, and we also offer tuitions. You can actually just contact us, then we'll be able to assist you in case you are doing ordinary or pure sciences. Thank you so much for watching.